My name is Mohammed Elegbede, MM. I finished from Mohammed University, Elegbede. I'm a graduate of the Department of Chemical Engineering. Now married with 3 kids. I stay in the US. I work with IBM and Wells Fargo. And well, it's just me in brief. I think my story is just like an average Nigerian student story. I got to school with high hopes to finish, probably work with Shell or Chevron or the likes of Total. But the Nigerian system has a way of remodifying your plans or helping you replan your future. So the usual challenges of getting to school, strikes, closures, day-to-day struggle to get access to basic facilities in the school. And the family that I come from also is, say, mid-income family, so there are days when you have to get to school before your pocket money gets to school. But OAU also kind of has a way of helping you balance all these things. So I'll just say my story is what an average Nigerian student would go through in school. The first one would be in no particular order, would be July 10, 1999, and it is so because a lot of things are tied into that, but the most important part of it is that some cultists came to school and killed students and student activists. And then I also, after the events, got motivated to get strongly involved in the student union movement. And my next thing would be when I eventually became the student union president from the University of Elegbede. And the third one is when I finally was able to graduate from the school. So with comrades, my memories would be centered around when we usually leave school to attend meetings in other parts of Nigeria. I think with the union, I've been to virtually all the states in Nigeria by virtue of being a union activist. With my friends, the regular birthday parties in Mo's, in Sports Hall, in our Hall, regular hangouts, night outs at the New Booker. With lecturers, it's Let Us Bury. That is the football we play in the evenings with lecturers. And that's about it. To start with, I think the Great Fair Anthem as a package is revolutionary, and it carries a message of hope and resilience. And the part I love most is where it says, "A luther against all oppression." And that is because you should have a voice, and you should be able to speak up against injustice. It doesn't matter who is going through that moment, but once you identify it, you should be able to speak up against it. And I think, despite the fact that different religions have their approach to addressing injustice, every religion abhors injustice. So that part of it is my best part. To be honest, I think to try to talk about OAU in isolation of the Nigerian system and how disorganized the leadership is would be unfair. But looking at OAU as a unit, I think we didn't do badly. I've not been there in a while, so I don't know what the state is now. But if OAU is allowed to develop into the present with the advancement we are everywhere, I think we would have a world-class institution, and the future for me looks bright. We just need to get the system right, because that seems to form the foundation on top which the school itself is built. If the system is right, OAU is an institution that will seriously flourish into one of the best schools in the world. I dealt with 3 vice chancellors: Professor Wale Omole, Professor Rogers Makojola, and Professor Mike Faborede. I would take Professor Rogers Makojola first, because I think, despite the fact that every vice chancellor is a messenger of the state, and it does the bidding of the government, Rogers Makojola, Prof, was able to bring his human path into office with him. I mean, we weren't friends, we had our very bitter moments, but he's somebody I would respect to tomorrow. And after that is Professor Mike Faborede, also very fatherly, also very friendly. I mean, I think we've been friends before he became the Vice Chancellor. I have my reservations on how he handled matters affecting the student union, and I think some of his actions would be historically responsible for the weakness in the union today. He was actually high-handed in clamping down the union, and that's dealt a severe blow. But I prefer Faborede, Prof, to Professor Wale Omole, who actually orchestrated a plan to get students killed in his approach to dealing with student movements. So Professor Rogers Makojola, Professor Mike Faborede, and Professor Wale Omole is a third, not because I like him, but because there has to be a third person. If I had to say, it's going to be in distance number, because I don't really like him. Well, let me start by saying be hopeful, and then don't let anybody put you on the track. Run your race. And I say that because with my own life, I have come to see that it's all about grace and how you present yourself when the opportunity comes. When we were in school, people did not hesitate to call us NFAs, thugs, no future ambition, and all the likes. And while I don't take pride in anybody not doing well, I think people who tagged us no future ambitions today don't seem to have the life we have. And when I say we, I mean a lot of union activists that have been branded in that way. And what that tells me is, when God is on your case, people can say whatever they like. Number 2 is there should be a way for the older generations to meet with the younger generations. And the reason is because there are things we did that if we had people talking to us, we would have done better. And also, your network will determine your net worth. People you know will determine how far you can go. And finally is fight hard all the time. Don't ever stop fighting, because if you don't fight, you have lost. If you fight, you may win. And dying while fighting puts you in a better place than putting your hand in the pocket and dying for free. Yeah, so if I were to come back to this world, would I like to go to AAU? Absolutely yes. Maybe because OAU would be a familiar devil, and I don't want. I've seen that now. I can be what somebody went to Harvard is. I can be what went to Oxford is, and OAU made the best out of me. So I will come back to OAU, and I think also I had to go back to that class and take probably the same course or computer engineering. And that is even the next world, IT will be the in thing. But I have no single regret. I schooled in OAU. I have no single regret. I went to the Department of Chemical Engineering. I have no single regret where I am today. I am extremely optimistic where I am going and about where I'm going and where I want to be. And so if I come back, I'll do the same thing again and again and again. Let me start that by saying thank you. Yes, you are taking up a generational task of building bridges, and nothing keeps the world better than that. And I hope everybody sees what you're doing as not just an occupation, but you are helping build a movement, you are helping build a nation, you are helping people get to know each other, get to respect and appreciate each other's story. And we can't thank you enough for that. And I hope you will not stop at this. I hope you can take this to many people, and then one day we can all find ourselves together sharing these stories in person.